Hello again, everyone. This is Jallon Johnson, and you're tuning in to the second episode of Quarantine Hour. On this week's podcast, we'll be assessing a question that came from on one of our social media platforms. Do animals hold the key to your health? And also, based on that speech that we just heard, we'll be determining who is the intended target audience. Before we delve into who the target audience is, we must first understand the communication goals from the speaker, which would be to reach out to the target audience to connect to those who have a shared interest with the speaker. The speaker must discern those within the public who are most invested to the issue at hand, as well as be able to sway the opinions of new potential customers. In achieving this, strategic communication must be employed, as using the intentional communication is driven by a purpose and plan, which is flexible enough but justified in all the steps it takes. It is based on research that can be evaluated despite being either informal or persuasive. It builds the understanding and gains support of all involved. Now, focusing on the types of publics or the stages of the development of publics, we can assess who would be best suited to fall within the target audience. These categories can range from non-publics to latent, apathic, aware, and active, as they increase in involvement from non-public to active. Non-publics do not share any issue with the organization and do not see real consequences that exist for the organization or for them. Latent publics, on the other hand, share an issue with the organization but do not yet recognize the situation or its potential. Apathic publics see the issue as not being important to warrant its attention, and the consequences are not perceived as being important. Aware publics recognize that there is a shared issue and perceives the consequences as being relevant, but is not organized enough to discuss and act on the issues. Active publics are the fullness of what we identify publics to be, as they are discussing and acting on the shared issues discussed. As such, it is my belief that the target audience would range from aware, active, apathic, and latent, excluding non-publics as they have no issue and no connection to the issue at hand. When dealing with these new information, it is also crucial to see which groups would be most influential for the diffusion of the information. As such, based upon the diffusion of innovation model, we can clearly see where these publics would fall into, ranging and starting from the innovators, the opinion leaders, the early majority, the late majority, as well as the last adopters or laggers, if you will. The audience target would be comprised of these key publics. The diffusion of innovation model illustrates how new ideas are spread. In this case, the communication goal is to effectively spread the idea of vegetarianism and veganism, to implement healthier diets and reduce the harm that is caused to animals within the food industry, illegal trade, and testing facilities. The innovators make up the smallest percent of the public and take the initiative to gain new information and ideas. Opinion leaders or early adopters are well-known individuals or organizations who have the ability to influence and shape the public's opinion due to their prestige and their standing. So, as an example, will be The doctor who gave the speech, or can also be your local celebrity who just happened to be very influential in your sphere, or your teacher who tends to push veganism very strongly. Getting back into it, the early adopters are open minded individuals who are constantly looking for new things to try and set trends. They can be considered opinion leaders and even role models within their social groups. The early majority are the people that are really leaders, but they do adopt new ideas before the average person. That said, the typical need to see evidence that the innovation works before they are willing to adopt it is very evident. Strategies that appeal to this population include success stories and evidence on the innovation's effectiveness. The late majority make up the people who are skeptical of change and will only adopt an innovation after it has been tried by the majority. Strategies to appeal to the population include information on how other people may have tried the innovation and have adopted it successfully. And lastly, the laggers are the people who are bound by tradition and are very conservative. They also may fall within a group of the elderly or aged who may be very stuck in their ways now and do not want to adopt new ideas or new technologies due to that gap in understanding. They're very skeptical of change and the hardest group to bring on board. Strategies to appeal to this population include statistics, fair appeals, and pressures from people in the other adopter groups. And again, as we come to the close, we thank you for listening and tuning in next time. Thank you.